We're going to discuss if Lasha Talakhadze is the greatest super heavyweight weightlifter, and we're going to start right now. What's up, everybody? It's Dave Miller from GarageStrength.com, and if this is your first time to the channel and you want to be an athletic freak, you want to be more explosive, you want to be a stronger athlete, make sure that you like, you subscribe, and you ring that notification bell so we can help you become a champion. So recently, Lasha Talakhadze has snatched over 220 kilos in a Georgian weightlifting competition, and that brought up a lot of questions regarding Lasha. Is he the greatest Olympic weightlifter in the super heavyweight division of all time? And that's a very, very challenging question. There's been a lot of really good Olympic weightlifters that have walked through that weight class. There's been Khrushchev, there's been Taranenko, there's been Chamerkin, there's been Razazadeh, and all of these guys are complete beasts, right? These are animals in the modern era. Khrushchev has snatched over 216 kilos. And Taranenko has hit over 260 plus kilos in the clean and jerk. There's been a whole bunch of different super heavyweights that have done phenomenal work in this weight class. I've been fortunate enough to even be around Lasha at the World Championships in 2019 and to see him warm up, to see him train, to see him compete as well. So it's one of those special things where I've seen him behind the scenes. I've seen the way he approaches training, and I've seen the way he approaches his technique, and I've seen the team behind him and what they put into the development of Lasha. So let's dive deep into this and let's see what Lasha's got to show us.
That just happened.
I think one of the coolest things behind Lasha's 220 is that how smooth it was, and he's also a lot lighter in 2017 than he is currently. He moved very well, he was very smooth coming off the floor, hits good positions, puts that up overhead, and that's the biggest snatch ever in the history of the sport. So that's impressive movement, his mobility is tremendous, and he's just phenomenal as a technician when it comes to the snatch technique. I think this is the angle I love seeing the best, is that how Lasha comes off the floor nice. He gets the vertical shin angle. He's so tight coming off the hip. And he's still a little forward in the catch, but it's 220 kilos. So these 210s, these were actually shot by me at the World Championships last year in Thailand. And one of the craziest things for me standing close by was that, one, he took these 210s within, 45 to 60 seconds, and just how smooth it was coming off the floor, how well it came off of his hip. He's got a very good finish with his upper body. I think a lot of people need to pay attention. One, he's got very long arms, but they've got to pay attention to the way he shrugs with his elbows, with the action of his elbows, and where his elbows are in relation to his foot grounding. When his foot is flat, where are his elbows? And I think that's one of the biggest factors that, again, super heavyweights are not known for being very good technicians, but Lasha has extremely good technique that a lot of lighter weight classes can learn from.
I mean, come on.
Now, one aspect I do want to touch on is I believe Lasha is an incredible technician. I think he's an incredible super heavyweight. He's an incredible talent. He's a physical phenom. But he did test positive for stanozolol in, I think it was 2014 when he was still a junior. He was just coming out of being a junior. And he got out of that positive test, I believe, by 2015 at the World Championships. So that happened in a lot of smaller Olympic weightlifting countries were known for being drug users. So that's one of the stains on him. Now, that doesn't mean that Khrushchev, Taranenko, Chamerkin, Razazadeh, that doesn't mean those guys were clean. Highly, highly, highly unlikely. I would say, in fact, that there's no way that they were clean. And that's one of the stains that Lasha has, and something that we have to talk about. It's something that he might be using currently, but he's ahead of the system. That's the way it is. That's the sport. And that's something that in the U.S. we can't really get away with because the drug testing is so much more advanced. Now, with that being said, he did pass drug tests when he competed in Anaheim. He was clean through Anaheim. Whether he's on a designer drug or not, we don't know. But innocent until proven guilty at this point. But he has tested positive in the past, and we've got to remember that.
And just like in 2017, when we said it then, you see that happen, and the only thing you think is...
And again, he snatched 220 in 2 different competitions, and I believe in 2019 it was a little bit cleaner. Now, they're both world records because they did reclassify the weight classes. And I believe Lasha has had over 18 world records, which is just phenomenal. Again, check out those elbows, the shrug back, the fast turnover.
We've now seen it twice, right? And he's done it
since 2017.
More. Yeah.
This is where he hit something huge. This is phenomenal. 264.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Remarkable. Lasha Talakhadze with 264 kilos.
I think something of note too with Lasha is he's got really good ankle mobility, and it's very apparent. And I believe that he's one of the few weightlifters that I would be interested to see his tibia length in relation to his femur. I think they're very similar in length, and not a lot of weightlifters, not a lot of human beings have long tibias in relation to their femur. And that also just makes what he does more impressive. And when he's hitting that split at 264, the way he drops his knee, the way he gets in that good overhead position, it's incredible to watch. And you can feel the power and that force that he's got. I think what he's doing right now, and we've got to thank All Things Gym for this phenomenal footage, but one of the things that people don't realize is, one, how much work he puts into his body, he puts into his warm-ups, that he puts into his focus. Every single rep he's hitting very similar positions. He's trying to feel it out. He's taking weights with just the bar. He's taking 50 kilos. He's taking 70 kilos. He takes a while to warm up and to feel focused. And on top of that, he's got a whole team behind him. So the country of Georgia is invested in him. They've got one of the best coaches ever, also one of the best weightlifters ever, George Azanidze. And that's the one big factor here that we've got to remember if we want to develop weightlifting further, is that when you can get a team setting and when you have an athlete that's fully bought into the system, it can create something very, very special. But you've got to get the lifter to buy in, and you've got to have a system of really good support. Dude, that's crazy. I think it's incredible if you even just watching Lasha take down 222, and that even looking like 225 could be on the bar, 227 could potentially be on the bar, and then his 267, the biggest clean and jerk ever in the history of the world, and that looks like, could he hit 272? I mean, it was a struggle, but for him, what looks like a struggle, it doesn't look that difficult. So it's like one of those things where he constantly is focusing on his mobility. He's doing a tremendous job. His team does a tremendous job. And I think that's one of the biggest factors that we can take away from if he is the best, which I believe Lasha Talakhadze is 100% the greatest super heavyweight to ever walk the planet. With that being said, he's got a full team behind him. He's constantly focused on his technique. He's got to have really good technique. He's got to have really good mobility. He's got to have really good support. And ultimately, he's got to have really good means of communication with his people. And he's an extremely good competitor. If you watch him on the platform, he almost never misses, and that all goes back to that technical prowess that he has. And a lot of lighter weight classes could take hold of what he does in training, how well he moves, how he warms up. He establishes that technical feeling. He feels those good positions. He has a very good turnover in the snatch with his upper body, and a lot of that goes back to what he does in warm-ups, his muscle snatches, and how he handles those muscle snatches throughout his warm-up session. So I believe Lasha is 100% the greatest super heavyweight weightlifter of all time. I think we've got to keep building. I think we've got to keep learning from him as a lifter, but also keep in mind in the back, real deep in the back of our heads, he did get popped for stanozolol, but currently I'm not going to take any of his accomplishments away from him. He is absolutely the greatest Olympic weightlifter in the super heavyweight division of all time. If you want more information about Olympic weightlifting, click on this video right here. Until next time, guys, peace.